Just to be sure, Vrishali is giving her speech. Confirmed?
Confirmed.
Okay. Vrishali, Saloni, Vrishali, Kenneth, Kirti, and then Saloni. That's the order we are going to do today.
Yes.
All right. Abhijit, would you like to start with a few words?
Yes. Welcome to the Pitch Fest. My name is Abhijit. Before we start, everyone, please turn on your camera. Parisi, we would love to see you. Kirti, Hemant, turn on your cameras. We'll get started once your cameras are on. The pressure is on.
Countdown count starts, yes.
Yeah. Wonderful to see
And
you.
we can take a screenshot for our fest, pitch fest
Yes.
for starting it.
People smile because I am taking a screenshot.
Smile. Okay.
Three,
Smile, guys.
3, 2, 1, go.
Please help me welcome our Toastmaster for today, Velva. Velva, it's all you, sir.
Thank you, Abhijit. Welcome, dear friends, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, we stand to validate the name of our club, Santa Clara Entrepreneurs Toastmasters Club. That means we should have more pitches. And today we are going to have 4 such speeches. I am very impressed with the lineup here. Without further ado, let's quickly jump in. And today our goal is to give you constructive feedback and make you stronger. And some of the constructive feedback is expected to be tough on you. Be ready for that. So the investors are going to be much more tougher on you. We are preparing for that. Let's get ready. Our first speaker for today's session is Vrishali. She is presenting. Let me call Shradul to give quick intro about her speech. Shradul will be evaluating Vrishali. Shradul?
All right. Vishali's speech is on presentation mastery. Level 1 project would be write a speech with a purpose. So the idea is that in the speech itself, what should be very clear is why she's delivering a speech and what is the emotion or the final message that she wants to convey, because that is her purpose. Apart from conveying her message, what I will be evaluating in Vishali's speech will be her body language, her eye contact, and her presence in the virtual space. So, Vrishali, these are the criteria, and I would be introducing you now. Vrishali, I am an addict. I am an addict, Vrishali.
Hello everyone. I am Vrishali. I take oath in front of all you Toastmasters that I am an addict. I had to overcome lot of mental denial to come to this realization today. I feel ashamed and I feel I lack this basic discipline needed in life, which is leading me to this situation today. But I guess, every journey starts with first acceptance. So I am here today accepting the truth, my reality, and confessing I am an addict. Some of you say, what is his her addiction? I have a food addiction. And you will think, what? Is this a joke? Is food even an addiction? What is she making up? But believe it and look at it from where I am standing, and this simple thing, food, looks like a big, big addiction to me. I can see clearly the path for salvation, but I am not able to stop myself from grabbing that next chai, that next samosa, that sweet treat that's presented to me. And even though I am full with a heavy meal, I'm not able to say no to that next bite that's in front of me. Typically, when we think of addictions, we start thinking extremes. Oh, drug addiction, smoking, drinking. But why does it have to be a huge, big labels for addiction? If you look at it, if I see the pattern in any addiction and my food addiction, I see exact same pattern that's replicating for drug addiction, smoking addiction, or my addiction. I know it is harmful. I know it is bad for me. I know I will regret it the moment I give in to my addiction, and still I'm not able to control it. I used to think when people smoke, "Oh, why can't people give up smoking? It's not just harming them, it's harming people around them as well." You know, we all joke the packet of cigarette that comes with like big warning, and still it doesn't deter people, it doesn't affect business because it's addiction, and that self discipline and mental control is not what that image is going to do. You put one image or 100 images, that is not going to train you for that self discipline, and we are targeting just messaging but not the discipline. So after going through my journey of addiction, now I understand the struggle of addiction better. And I do not have now the guts to stand on a high ground and say, "Oh, why can't people give up addiction? Why can't they stop smoking or drinking?" Do you ever feel a detox center should be for everything and a support group should be for everything? Why not for food addiction? Even why not for Netflix addiction? How many nights you all have spent binge watching and then at the end saying, "Oh, worst show ever. Why did I spend that much time on this show?" With my struggle and going through this journey, I have come to a new realization and appreciation for some of the ancient traditions like fasting. You know, fasting I see now as a mini detox, a mini control that you keep giving yourself at a regular interval, day in, day out, and that builds you to say no to that next temptation. Fasting at times has become a taboo because people started attaching too many religious annotations to it. But if you go to the core of it, it's giving the same message. When you don't need something, do you have the discipline, the courage, the self control to say no to a thing? And that is what it's building you upon. And imagine you doing this in your life over a period of time. Do you think when you build yourself like that and there is a big temptation in front of you, you would be able to say no because you have practiced that discipline? I would bet yes, you would be able to say no. So here I am today, taking that baby step and starting my journey with saying no. So I will start with 4-hour fast. I know it looks like a joke, but I have to start somewhere and then climb that mountain. So, my day one is today with 4-hour fasting. Okay? It's 7:47. I will have my breakfast at 11:47 and you all are invited. Are you ready for a journey with me and admitting to your addictions? Thank you.
That was a wonderful speech, Rishali. I'll bring you some laddus on my way. We are all, especially from Indian origin, you are given sweets, and it is impolite to reject them. And that's another reason diabetes is a pandemic in India. Thank you so much. And we will start a club for detoxing food addictions. Thank you. Now, let's move on to the second pitch of the day today. That will be Kenneth. To introduce Kenneth, let me invite Anil. Anil, are you ready?
Yes, Toastmaster Vilva. So today Kenneth is going to present by using the presentation software. The objective is going to look into the how he used effectively the presentation software, and he is looking for the weakness and the improvements opportunities from his presentation. So I'm looking for how effectively he used the presentation slides and the content and all that. Yeah, over to you, Vilva.
Thank you. Kenneth, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Can everyone see my screen all right?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Lacashman, and I'm going to be talking to you today about mushrooms and health. Show of hands, how many people have used a functional mushroom supplement ever? Maybe like lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps. How many people are familiar with these things? Maybe you've heard something anecdotally. I'm working with a new mushroom that I want to tell you a little bit about, which is Amanita muscaria. And I'm going to be explaining to you why I think that this mushroom is blue. And you're probably thinking right now, well, no, I can clearly see it's red, Kenneth. Why are you telling me that this mushroom is blue? And I'm actually referring to a term used by Renee Mobarn and Chan Kim from their book Blue Ocean Strategy, which defines blue oceans as marketplaces where there are very few competitors versus red oceans, which are described as heavily crowded marketplaces where there are lots of people fishing for the same thing. And I am working with this mushroom for its as an over-the-counter for pain relief based off of some of the pharmacological properties of this mushroom. And I think it's very much a blue ocean strategy opportunity. And so to give you a little bit of background about this mushroom, it historically has been used by traditional cultures, such as the Korak of Eastern Siberia, where they would use it externally as a poultice, wrapping it around the limbs to decrease inflammation as well as arthritis. And as I looked into this more, there's a real basis in peer-reviewed journals as to why this works. You see, this mushroom has this novel alkaloid in it. This alkaloid is called muscimol, and muscimol has some really interesting effects that we'll get into. Why am I doing this? So my journey started about 6 months ago, where my dad, who is a type 2 diabetic, he was having some issues with his health. You see, he was getting really bad news from his doctor about the state of his current blood glucose. And he was also just in a really poor physical condition at the time. He was spending a lot of time on the couch, feeling very, very unmotivated. And he has this condition called peripheral neuropathy, which, if you're not familiar with, it's frequently experienced as burning pains in the hands and feet. And I was looking into lion's mane, which is anecdotally a compound, a mushroom that a lot of people will use for treating peripheral neuropathy. But this prompted me to look to the rest of the mushroom world. Is there a mushroom for pain? And I found Amanita muscaria. So I got a hold of some. I did a bomb in my kitchen doing an extraction on the mushroom, and he went from sitting on the couch to doing as many as 10,000 steps a day. And this very much motivated me to continue to look and research and try to understand why that worked. It also keyed me into this problem of chronic pain, which is a real silent epidemic in America and worldwide. These stats are solely looking at the US market because that's where I'm based. But as many as 1 in 6 people suffer from chronic pain, about 50 million total. And it turns out that there are about 20 million other individuals who are just like my dad who have peripheral neuropathy. In fact, if you're a type 2 diabetic, you have about a 50% likelihood of developing peripheral neuropathy. There are other debilitating conditions like arthritis. There's 26 million cases of that. And if you're an adult over 65, about 31% of you have a pain condition today. And in this country, we spend about $100 billion on pain management. And now, more recently, reducing symptoms of opioid dependence because we've over-relied on opioids to help treat pain. And so doctors have been looking for alternatives. And one of their favorite areas is the use of topicals or over-the-counter creams and gels for helping to treat pain. The reason why doctors love these is that they offer targeted pain relief. They're really easy to use. You just add it to the spot experiencing pain. They have a favorable safety profile as you're applying transdermally versus orally. And so the dosing is a lot different. and they provide relief across multiple different types of pain. Below are some of the top prescriptions for topical pain relief. You have your opioids, such as tramadol. You have your NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, and you have your gabapentinoids. Opioids have a huge addiction problem. It's not a secret. They also can provide a lot of issues to people in terms of their sleep quality. NSAIDs are great. Ibuprofen I take all the time. But if you have a chronic pain condition like peripheral neuropathy, the efficacy just simply isn't there for what you have going on. And in terms of the gabapentinoids, it's a prescription pill that you generally will have to take every single day because it takes about 14 days for it to build up in your system. And with it comes a host of side effects. Side effects like gaining 20 to 40 pounds, brain fog, lethargy, to name a few. And so muscimol from Amanita muscaria comes in with a much more desirable profile. It would be available over the counter. It has a very low addiction profile. In fact, people will anecdotally take this mushroom to help them quit alcohol and tobacco. It's used as needed. It's a sleep aid, and it has research indicating that's effective for neuropathic pain relief. And so the reason why this works is muscimol is what's called a GABA agonist or GABA activator. And if you're not familiar with GABA, it's one of our neurotransmitters that is in our body. It's also today a popular dietary supplement. You may see drinks and supplements that contain GABA. The reason why people will take it as a supplement is that it induces relaxation. It's actually the neurotransmitter that's responsible for helping regulate things like mood, sleep, as well as pain. Currently, there are a few medications on the market that affect GABA. Benzodiazepines like Xanax is a GABA agonist, as well as the gabapentinoids, like I mentioned earlier. And the thing about muscimol is that compound, if you look at my chart on the right, it's a very, very similar chemically to GABA, but it's actually been shown in research to be up to 140% more effective than GABA is itself. This is the mechanism by which it's able to work. The market for topical analgesics today in the US is $3.08 billion, and it's growing. A lot of that growth is coming from the fact that we're in an aging society and there are more people who are using, who need pain relief products as a result of a chronic pain condition. But then you actually have completely on the opposite side of the health spectrum, you have sports players and athletes who use topical analgesics as well. And an insight that we have from working with organizations like the Western Peripheral Neuropathy Association is that if you get a chronic pain condition like peripheral neuropathy, over the course of the first 2 years, you'll use about 10 different products to try to find something that works. Because the reality is that if you look across all pharmaceuticals, surgical intervention, alternative therapies, that they're considered at best 40% effective, which is why there's always a need for new treatments. And so we're coming in with our pain relief cream. It's a topical product, and we're really excited about its profile. For starters, it's a fast-acting analgesic, as it's able to enter and get through the skin in as little as 15 minutes. It's used as needed, meaning you can apply it directly to the site experiencing discomfort. And it may be a sleep aid, as muscimol has actually been researched for increasing REM. One of the insights I have through talking to my uncle, who also has peripheral neuropathy, is that at nighttime, when he has less active stimuli, that's when he gets the symptoms from his peripheral neuropathy. Each batch we're making is precision dosed. We very much want to make sure that we're giving a very controlled amount. And from a regulatory standpoint, we're following an existing FDA monograph, meaning a recipe, if you would, from the FDA for a pain relief product using menthol and adding in our mushroom as well. And from a regulation standpoint as well, this is not a scheduled mushroom like psilocybin, some people may be familiar with. It's actually considered a food product by the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act in the United States. Here's the team I've so far assembled to work on this with me. So I'm the founder. I have 10 years of experience working in the natural product world in digital category management and demand forecasting and supply chain. I'm not a doctor, but I did go and find one. And his name is Dr. Stephen Young, and he is a PhD in food science and technology. And he's had over 12 years in encapsulation working with small compounds. He's also been a part of a few startups that specifically work on mushrooms. And I'm working with Anthony DeLizza, who's a professional startup advisor for medical device and wellness companies. And he has a Master of Science in Medicinal Chemistry. And so here's where we're at right now. I started this company last June, initially working with mushroom supplements and blends for adding to your coffee or a sleep gummy. But then this past fall, I had the incident with my father, and just my whole focus changed. Then by December, I was able to connect with Stephen and Anthony and have them join the team for the ERA mission. And then in January, I went and applied to the UC Davis Life Science Innovation Center, where I was accepted to in March. And this past April, we were featured in the Western Peripheral Neuropathy Association newsletter for the research that we're doing. We're at this really exciting stage. One of the reasons for that is we've identified our strategic co-manufacturing partner. And so once we're with this co-manufacturing partner, we will be CGMP produced, meaning we will actually be compliant with the FDA monograph process for an over-the-counter product. Our proprietary formula is engineered for increased penetration, and we're at a stage where we're ready to begin testing the market now. What our go-to-market strategy looks like is we're in the middle of building a 100-person pain relief consumer study as a method of demonstrating social proof. We're then, with that data, going to go to San Francisco as a pilot city and get commitments from wholesale, herbal, and supplement retailers, as well as holistic e-tailers to help get the word out and get some initial distribution. We're also going to be building things on our own direct-to-consumer website and pushing through digital marketing. So we're in the middle of doing our very first production run, and we're working with our co-man, and we want to go raise some money. Right now, we want to raise $900K to give ourselves a 2-year runway. That's going to be split across staffing, production, fulfillment, marketing, regulatory, and research. We have a great facility at the UC Davis Life Science Innovation Center, but there's a few additional investments we need to make. So you've heard my pitch. Maybe now you see a blue mushroom, a blue ocean opportunity. And if you'd like to get in touch, here's my contact information. Thanks so much for your time and attention.
Thank you, Kenneth. I can really correlate. I was trying to grow mushroom myself, and I didn't do very well there. So if you're looking for distributors in India, or I was planning to sell it in India only. So we should work on that.
I'll keep you in mind.
Yeah, I'm passionate about mushroom. I really love mushroom. So let's talk about it. And
sure.
Thank you so much. And I'm really probably I should consider investing in your farm too. That said, now since Kenneth just talked, let me invite Avinash to introduce the next duo, Kirti and Hemant, to give their pitch. Avinash, stage is yours.
Sorry, actually, I'm not aware that I was supposed to give introduction. I'm not familiar with this.
No worries. Kenneth, would you be able to give?
I don't have their agenda or anything.
No worries.
Yeah,
I can
so
do it.
My understanding is that Kriti is also providing a pitch today, and I'm
yes.
going to be looking for the feedback on the quality and the convincingness of their pitch, and I'm very excited to hear what they have to talk about today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Kirti and
Yeah, Bilba. I think our
just a sec. Just a sec. How about now? You're ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me spotlight for everyone. Yes, ready to go. Stage is yours.
Hey, Mant, do you drink water?
I drink water when I'm thirsty only, Kirti.
But did you know that after 65 years of age, people slowly lose the sensation of thirst? Then what would you do when you're older?
Really? Is that the reason why my grandmother having UTI and falls all the time?
Possibly. This used to happen with my grandfather as well. Did you know that about 40% of elderly people in the UK care would be chronically dehydrated?
Seriously? So is there any real-time hydration monitoring?
Absolutely. There is solution. Introducing eLife, a wearable solution designed specifically for the elderly, which measures hydration levels and alerts carers instantly if there are any abnormal hydration levels. Our product could at least save 0.86 billion pounds and reduce 85,000 hospital bed days per annum. This is Hemant Kumar Talpula. This is Kirti Bosanaboyina, and he's co-founder and CTO, and I'm CEO and founder of eLife.
So why can't I take the product? Why can't I have a caregiver in my house?
Do you mean instead of having this
Band? Why can't I have a caregiver to take care of my grandmother?
Absolutely, but according to a BBC article, a care home has put residents at risk by not giving water up to 17 hours. Can you imagine not drinking up to 17 hours?
Really? No, not at all.
So, with our product, there would be less scope for human error and elderly abuse, and easy management and tracking of hydration levels for carers like you. So, in terms of competitors, of course, we do have competitors. We can divide them into different categories. One is invasive, and the other ones are non-invasive. In terms of invasive methods, blood tests and urine tests. Of course, they are one of the most effective ways of measuring hydration levels. However, who likes blood tests? They are painful, right? And it also causes bruises for older people. And they also do not measure hydration levels in real time. In terms of urine tests, they are also a bit painful for people with UTIs. In terms of non-invasive methods, there are hydration monitoring bands or wearable devices available in the market. But they, such as Nix biosensors and Hedgedrop, they do they do measure hydration levels for athletes, and they rely on sweat. This is where we are unique. We do not want to measure hydration levels by relying on sweat, because to make it suitable for non-mobile patients, and of course UK climate, it's not always sunny here. Believe me, it's very wet and cold all the time. So, and what else?
So do they have to know that how we are entering into the market? Yes, we enter into the market in three different stages. The stage one, we want to launch as a wellness gadget. Stage two, we want to go for the medical product, and stage three, it's for NHS and virtual wards. Here, the common is like the customers who are taking this one is like elderly people, elderly children, or who are taking care of their older people, and the users like who are using it, it will be the older people. And when it comes to market size, according to a survey, 2020-2033, the dehydration monitoring system market will be $1.1 billion. You know, like $1.1 billion. So in that market, what we want to do is like we want to generate income for our company in four different streams. The first one is a direct sales. The second one is subscription model, where along with hydration monitoring, they would like to get some more premium features, which are SOS system and all. The third one is licensing method, where we would like to compatible our software with existing devices with the API integration and all. And the final one is like healthcare integration, where we would tailor our software for existing healthcare devices for seamless monitoring system. Now, I would like to explain what we have done so far. We got 9,000 pounds, which is 6.5k in pre-seed, 2.5k in seed, in various grants. Along with that, I'm happy to announce that we won Health and Wellbeing Award, which is awarded by University of Hertfordshire, and People's Choice Award with more than 1,000 plus votes, which is a strong validation for our product. And now we are in a, we initially we developed our initial version of prototype with skin sensitivity. Now we are in a stage to develop alpha prototype. Here we need your help. Our ask is 50,000 pounds in exchange of 2.5% of equity in our company, along with the support as well for developing more alpha prototype testing and for the beta development as well.
Over to you if you have any questions for us.
Please.
Do we have any questions from the audience? All right.
I do have one, Vilva.
Go ahead.
Out of curiosity, you mentioned that you want support for the alpha prototype. So what kind of support are you looking for?
We are looking for an expertise in various categories while in developing the alpha prototype, where we are struggling with understanding the electronics part, understanding medical technology part, how the integration of electronics into the medical systems.
And I was familiar with the fact that you are based out of the University of Hertfordshire for all your, at least your developmental work. And I was curious to know, are there any faculty members or professors that over there are aligned with your cause, or at least whom you have approached?
Yeah, so we do have a mentor assigned to us. We got this. We are happy to say that like we got this mentorship program. We are in a mentorship program from a medtech person. So he is like familiar with medical technologies, but we need a bit more specialization with people who understand medical field and of course who can help us with guide us in the electronics or embedded software as well.
Oh, fair enough. One last question there is, have you considered talking with faculty members, especially in the field of bioelectronics, in Netherlands or in countries which universities which are equally advanced or highly advanced and have a domain expertise in the field you're working in?
We are looking for people who can be our advisors and also, if possible, who can mentor us in these fields. So, if you are aware of anybody who can help us with our product, further develop our product, that would be really, really helpful for us.
Indeed, we should definitely catch up after the meeting then. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you
That's
so
it from my
much.
side, Pilva.
Thank you. Thank you. We are right on time. We may have to rush a little bit. Thank you so much, Kirti and Hemant. Um, let's thank you so much. Let's move on to the next speaker, that is Saloni. Vivian, are you ready to introduce Saloni?
Yes, I will be talking about Saloni in a while, but this is what she's going to do for all of us. The purpose statement for her speech project is as follows. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce or review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate her understanding of how to use presentation software, including the creation of slides and incorporating the technology into speech. Saloni, wow us.
All right. Thank you, Vivek. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? Perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, one second. So hey everyone, this is Saloni, and actually I am on a mission to make premium education accessible to every child here. So what I believe is, every child of today could be a pioneer of tomorrow if given an opportunity, whatever they deserve. And so that's my goal. And with that goal, I am presenting you the business, which is Vidyame Education Foundation. I started this business with this one goal. Then we've encountered there are many problems that we need to handle. So I want to highlight some of the problems here. We know that the world is full of education businesses. It's the fastest growing market, fastest growing business we can see, fastest growing even in the startup journey. Most startups are education business only. So we are full of education businesses. But the problems with most of them, or I can say all of them, apart from Vidyame, of course, is the major problem is they all are intended to make your child an engineer. Can you imagine that? A 5-year-old or a 6-year-old is just getting enrolled in your program with the thought, oh, I'm going to be an engineer. No, it doesn't work like that. Your child can go in any field. So these premium education should not be given just for the sake of making them engineers or any tech geek or be in the tech field. That's major problem. The second major problem with major education businesses all around is they focus majorly on coding, and they think like coding is the only key. I do agree coding is the key, but just coding, just having an expertise in coding won't make your child stand apart. There should be a set of skills, and that's only can highlight your child in the crowd. And the major problem with education businesses is they present all these things to us like premium education, and then on the name of premium, they charge us like anything. So they're super expensive. But here at Vidyame, in the world full of education businesses, let's become education partners. We are not here to make your child go in the tech field, be an engineer, be a tech geek. No, coding is not for that. Coding is like a gym for your brain. It gives you a different mindset, a different process to think for the problem you're facing. It could be in any aspect of life. And no matter in what field do you want to go, be it music, be it sports, be it modeling, be it anything. You will encounter some problems in your life, but if your mind is solution oriented instead of problem oriented, you know how to get it through. And coding actually helps us in that. As I said, coding is not the only key. But when coding mixed with communication, collaboration, and skills like public speaking, you see a different person over there. And here at Vidyame, we focus on all these skills. So whatever coding courses we have, there are few terms and conditions that are possibly hidden, but they are into there. That is fun. And the communication and public speaking that we encourage the child to work on, and that we also teach in every of our course, in each of the course that we have. And the best part of the education, is just sharing knowledge is always free. But being in the business, having something free is also not a very good thing. But when I say sharing knowledge is free, which means like I don't need to charge anything expensive. The charge that I'm taking to provide a basic education could be same whatever is needed to provide a premium education. And that's the sense that we have at Vidyam. As I said, our courses, so let me just tell you brief about the programs that we have here. We have programs like some are called as STEM programs, where we focus on the introductory part of what technology is, what science is, what's engineering. Engineering doesn't mean be a tech engineer. Engineering means just some engineering in technology, some change in technology, what's happening around, like happened way years before, decade before, when we started using PC. That's also one part of that. And now everyone is using computer, everyone is using PC. Even if you're in sports field, you're in any field, you must know how to use PC. The other programs that we have is like regular classroom project. Then we have some shorter boot camps. We have regular competition just to keep the kids motivated to learn and learn better. The one best part we have in our competition is we don't teach them to compete with others. We always teach them to compete with themselves. And with that mindset, they always will grow and grow. We have many revision programs. We have some accelerator programs also, just to give a kick into your child if needed to get into this world of coding. The courses that we have the names are just like, oh, they are full of coding and robotics and technology. Yes, they are. But the concept is all different. We don't focus to become an engineer, as I said. We focus to build your brain, to be creative, to just unleash the creativity that your child has, because that's the best age to get started. And in every of our course, We have spatial classes just for presentation, just to focus on the collaboration, just to focus on public speaking. That also we focus because that's the need. We have all the robotics courses, coding courses, app development, Python, everything that's a need of tomorrow. You don't need to just believe my words just because I am saying being founder of Vidyam. Of course, I'll say that. You can go with the words of 100 plus kids that are enrolled with us. You can trust their experience. Or you can just test us. Just join us for any boot camp. They're very short. They're just 5 days to 7 days boot camps. And you can see yourself how your child will change in just a period of 5 days. And that can build your trust in us. As I said about boot camps, there are some upcoming boot camps in the month of May itself and in June. I can put the link in the chat box if needed. So there are some scratch coding for the beginners. Then there are some Python for the kids who are like 10 plus. And then there are some boot camps of web development. So for every course, for every course with your child joins with us, we have a discussion class that will help us, the mentor and your child, to understand what's their interest level. And the best part is, if one course is not, your child is not liking that, we can shift to the other course, because I said there should be fun in the learning to have a consistency there, and that's the key. So we always focus on the consistent learning, and there are many reasons of joining us. Like we can provide the best support for your child. You can stop worrying about the future. You stop worrying about the theory they're learning at school. They can actually do the practical learning here. The best part is we are here to innovate, not to imitate. So they will become an innovator. They can unleash their creativity, their potential. And the only reason I can see of not joining us, probably you don't have a child who is 5 to 12-year-old. That's it. Thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free.
Thank you, Saloni. Thank you for that wonderful pitch. Shraddal, now I can take a break. You are doing the general evaluator role.
Yes, indeed. Now you can take a break for sure. We will get into the general evaluation. Let me lower down my hand and then we can start. Well, actually, the first the first one who will be doing the evaluation is me, and that would be from Vishali's pitch. Let me start my own timer, and then we can give it a shot. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Vishali. That was one interesting speech that you gave about addiction. Definitely, as you said, I am an addict, especially given the fact that I have a cup of tea in my hand while you were giving that speech of addiction. And that stopped me mid-step just to listen to the fact that, and just to consider the fact, is that an addiction? Because for sure, I can't start my day without my cup of tea. The fact that you went on to elaborate what addiction is, what problems you are facing, and how you are trying to relieve yourself of that addiction is something that I liked that you elaborated in the pitch. Because just saying that you are an addict doesn't help us. We always gravitate towards having a solution to our problems. That's why you presenting a solution was really nice. The good points about it was that you had a good concurrent narration throughout the speech. Point A, you were involved, and since it was your personal story, that got us hooked. And the third thing was that you managed to at least move throughout throughout the virtual screen so as to showcase certain mobility, and that is much required when you are presenting on a virtual stage. What I really would like to see improve is intonation and some more actions. For instance, in the pitch you mentioned drug addiction, smoking, drinking. Normally, to re-emphasize your point, there are some visual cues that go along with these actions. Maybe not necessarily drug taking, but smoking, drinking are generally based on cues as well, along with words. So some actions, not necessarily for these things, but for general things, would help us re-emphasize your point. That is one. The other thing was in terms of vocal intonation, which I would like to see you improve. For instance, you say that it was in context of smoking, it harms them, it harms friends and family. But the inflection points when you were saying those things were pretty much the same when you are talking about your addiction thing. When you were saying that you were addicted, what I would like you to do is lower your voice and move front, and then say it harms us. It not just harms me, but also my family, my friends, and my environment. So the idea is I want you to emphasize that point. And that emphasis can only happen when you change your vocal inflections when you're stressing something. If I were to say that, since your topic was on, or your speech was on showcasing the purpose was quite evident and it came across quite well because you had consistent narration, good narration skills throughout. You moved about and you kept us engaged. What will take your pitch to the next level when you say that it will resonate with us, it will have some more emotional appeal, is if you change your vocal intonation and bring a bit more gesturing into it. That's it from my side. Thank you very much for your pitch. Well, since I'm also the timer, I know for a fact that I have went pretty much overboard with 3 minutes 42 seconds. But however, let's let's go to the next speaker, which is Kenneth. And Kenneth's pitch was evaluated by Anil. Anil, could you please do the review for Kenneth's pitch?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Shardul. So, Kenneth, thank you so much for your pitch. It was very good. So, I'm going to focus on. I know you did so many great things, but I would like to more focus on the improvements and the opportunities. Okay. So the good thing what we had was the transitions between start to end. I really like the way you transition from your problem statement to your closing by what exactly you're looking for. You have a go-to-market strategy, you have a personal story, go-to-market strategy, competitor advantage, all that. Okay, and you have a less content in the beginning, and I'll talk about the content in the improvement opportunities as well. And the way it shows your confidence, the way you present, hey, this is the problem I have in my personally I faced, so I'm solving that. So everything you did good. So, but since it is going to be a pitch, I would like to focus more on improvement opportunities. Okay, so you are too fast. You are conveying message. There is a lot of information to digest. If I'm hearing first time, as Shardul said, the emphasis that will apply for you as well. So whenever you are saying the emotion, you have a very great story, but that emotion is missing. My dad has a problem, and if you can just kind of pause there and stress what exactly you are trying to say, so that will give more powerful to your content and your slides and your pitch. So you say, in last year 2023 May, I have a problem for my dad. I don't know what. So it's a kind of bring that timeline and all that. So that will give more credibility to your story, number one. And pitch and pause. So you don't need to, I have seen you're having so much of content, you don't need to have that much content when you are emphasizing, saying that, okay, I have a solution for you. So just give the breaks so that we can digest the information whenever I'm looking for an investor mindset. Okay, you have all content, but each slide, what is the top one thing or top two things you are trying to convey? So some of the slides in the down the line, go to market strategy, competitor advantage, I see many things going on there. But what exactly the top two things? I can't digest everything what you have, right? So what is the top two things? This is a market opportunity. We have a $20 billion market opportunity in this. Shardul, I may go a little bit over for a minute, but 20 billion opportunities, that is one thing. And that will give a clear, what exactly you want me to take away. And at the last, you have a 900K. Okay, you are showing the runway of the 900K. But what would be I'm an investor. What would be my breakout? When I'm going to get that money back? How are you going to use my funds? All these is good. But as an investor, when I'm going to get my breakout, that is very important detail which need to have in the pitch, and how you are going to spend that money to develop what you said in the beginning. I know you are investing in the team, you are investing in all the cool things. That's great, but why do I need to give my money to you, and when I get the return back as an investor, and what are you offering for me, how much percentage you're offering for me? So those kind of details. So probably in summary, I would recommend, so you just pace your content delivery and the emphasize on what you wanted to tell on each and every slide. You had that in the beginning, saying that this is my problem, this is what I'm going to solve. But or when you're transitioning to the next slides, that punchlines and that message is missing. That's what I personally felt. But I recommend slow down a bit, pitch, pause, and emphasize. And also, I believe you're going to give it for investors. As an investor, why do I need to invest? So that will give more information to the investors. And yeah, I think. But overall, you're solving a problem. Really like the problem solving and all that. Your medicine is going to really change the way how it is doing today. But yeah, all the best of luck.
Thank you, Anil. Actually, I agree with the points that you mentioned. And one of the points, Kenneth, that even I felt at least at the very beginning was the way your slides look could use a bit more decluttering as well, because there was a substantial amount of text. And maybe if you reduce that a bit, it gives a more clean vibe. And then that helps me focus on you and not focus on the text on the slide and trying to read it. At least that was one of the points that my supervisor really insisted on when we were presenting our theses. But thank you for your evaluation, Anil. And now we move on to the next one, which will be Avinash and Kenneth, you both, who will be evaluating Kirti and Hemant. Maybe let's start with Avinash first, and then Kenneth, you get the 3 minutes after that. So Avinash.
Sorry, I was confused because Abhijit sent me a message to do the evaluation of Kenneth. So literally, I did for Kenneth, not for these guys.
Okay. Then then I think
but Abhijit's message was me to do evaluate Kenneth. I was quiet when Anil was giving it, so that's okay.
No, that's fine. Then actually we could Kenneth can definitely use a second evaluation as well. So I hope you don't mind, Kenneth.
Happy to get the feedback.
So then Avinash, I suggest you go ahead with Kenneth's evaluation. For Kirti and Hemant, I can take up your role because I do have a lot of evaluation to give, offline and online. So,
sorry, when Abhijit sent me a message, I was paying my full attention on Kenneth and putting my points and thoughts on my paper as well.
No worries. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Kenneth, again, this is my feedback on the top of what Anil gave you, right? So what you excelled at is giving overview of your product. What is that product? Why it is important? Extremely good inputs on that one. I will say clarity was good. 5 in the rating chart. I was going through the evaluation sheet as well. Like vocal variety was around 3 to 4. Eye contacts around 4. The gestures, because that's a challenge of virtual environment, right? When we are in the virtual, gestures become less because you are close to camera. Maybe I'm not sure whether you can stand up and whether that becomes effective because you are using slides plus